Good day friends, welcome to the CEC Gurukul lecture series. In the topic of the securities market, we are talking about screen based trading. In this topic of screen based trading, in my previous lecture on this, I introduced you about I talked about online trading, how it takes place, how the screen based trading takes place. Now what is the trading procedure? I will be talking of this in this lecture. So the very first step, which I talked in my previous lecture also, is about finding a broker. That is, individual investors or investors do not deal directly with the stock exchanges. Their stock exchanges have their registered members who are normally called stock brokers, and these stock brokers are the representative of the stock exchange and they are the representative of the investors. So they are intermediary between the stock exchange and the investors. So your first job is to find a broker with whom you want to deal, who will transact on your behalf, and obviously these brokers charge a nominal fee for their services which they do provide, and these service charges are normally these days, I am not saying is a rule, but normally these is practically, in the practical world, it's 0.01% to 0.03%. So it's a very nominal, less than 0.5% commission is being charged on the value of the each transaction which you make, less than 0.5%. Many times it is as low as 0.01%. So first step is you're finding a broker. So second step is opening an account with the broker. Once you find that you want to deal, say for example, if I name it, for these days for online trading, there is a stock broker company called Zerodha. There are many Angel Broking, Motilal Oswal. There are many hundreds of stock broking companies which are there at present. So any broker with which you want to deal, you select that broker. So you will have to open an account with the broker. For opening an account, these days the way you open an account in your bank, the very first thing banker will say is that you must have to undergo your KYC, know your customers. So what you do for the KYC? You should have an Aadhaar number, that is, which is your proof of identity, your proof of your residence. You must have a PAN number, right? So with these two important documents, the PAN number, for opening a bank account, it is not necessary to have a PAN number, but you must have an Aadhaar number, right? So Aadhaar number is necessary, and then your residential proof, which is there in the Aadhaar number. Some other documents are being taken by a banker, your photo, and they will ask you different information which you will fill, and then bank account will be opened. Similarly, if you open an account with a broker, you must have a PAN number, because without PAN number no broker will open an account, right? So you must have a PAN number, you must have your Aadhaar number, your identity proof, you must have a bank account, because when you will buy and sell shares, the bank with which you will transact, that bank account should be fixed. You cannot, like suppose I want to buy a share, right? So I cannot use other bank's account, like I cannot use my spouse account for making the payment. I'll have to make the payment from my own account only, because in order to avoid the Benami transactions, the stock exchanges have made it mandatory to use the account which is there with the broker, which is there in their Demat account. Demat account I will be talking of, right? So you must have, at the time of opening the account with a broker, you must tell or you must give a cancelled check, so that it can be proved that you are having a bank account in this with this name and with this account number in such and such bank. So you must have a bank account, you must have a PAN number, and you must have, PAN number means PAN card, and you must have a Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card means identity proof. It may be your passport, your other document which is acceptable to the stock exchanges, right? So a broker opens an account in the name of prospective client only if he is satisfied, or he means, whenever I say he, means also she is satisfied about the credit worthiness of the investor. So investor has to sign a broker client agreement. So there is an agreement between the broker and the client. So there is almost a full flash booklet type which each broker has, right? So this is having the terms and condition of the buying and selling. So the investor has to sign a broker client agreement and a client registration form before placing an order to buy or sell the shares. So very first thing is you have to open an account with the broker. So an agreement takes place between the broker and the investor, right? So for opening an account. So the minimum requirement for opening a trading account, as I've already told you, PAN card, a depository account and a bank account, following which the account cannot be opened. So for opening an account, you must have, apart from your PAN card, your Aadhaar card, you must have a depository account. This depository account I've already discussed in my previous lectures. So I'm just at this point of time I'm telling you that these days, since the shares are not being dealt in the physical form, in the paper form, so for having, means if you will buy the share, where the broker will transfer your share? The broker will transfer your share in your depository account. Depository account is like a bank account, right, which keeps the shares in electronic form. So you must have a depository account, PAN card and a bank account, filling which the account cannot be opened. So what you do is that you give, they will ask you your name, date of birth, address, educational qualification, occupation, residential status. Residential status from tax point of view, whether you are an Indian, NRI, because the rules are different for Indians and rules are different for NRI, right? So your bank account details. So you have to fill in the form which you will fill with the broker. These are the necessary information which broker will ask you to fill, right? So all this information you will fill. Then on your account will be depository account details, name of the other broker with whom you are registered. If supposing you are having some other account with the other broker also, so with which broking firm you have an account, you will have to reveal that also. So broker then opens a trading account in the name of the investor and provides the client code number. So basically each investor is being allowed a client code number, because apart from a name, your code, when you open an account with a bank, what the bank does, bank gives you an account number. Similarly, broker also allots you a client code number. Client means the person who is opening the account. He is called the client or she is called the client, and the broker will allot a client code number if you fulfill all the information which I have just talked about, right? So third is now you have an account. You have a depository account, depository number, you have an account with the broker, you have opened the account with the broker. Now the third step is placing the order. Placing the order means whether you want to buy a share or you want to sell the share. So after selecting the broker and opening an account, an investor places an order to buy or sell a specified number of shares of a specified company. Say for example, you want to buy the share of HDFC Bank Limited, right? So at what price you want to buy, at what rate you want to buy, how many shares you want to buy, what volume you want to buy, then you will place the order. You will specify to the broker exactly in clear terms the name of the company, the number of shares you want to buy or sell, and the price at which you want to buy or sell. So order can be placed by telephone, fax, email or in person, right? So clear instructions have to be clear, means everything should be transparent in very clear terms about the price, the number, the name of the company. So clear instructions have to be given about the number of shares and the price at which the shares would be bought or sold. So means the third step is placing the order. Now order matching. What is this order matching? The best buy order will match with the best sell order. This is very important, friends. Best buy order will match with the best sell order. Simultaneously in the online trading system, in the screen-based trading system, there are thousands of buy orders and there are thousands of sell order of the same company, right? So an order may match partially with another order, resulting in multiple trades, right? Suppose those people who deals in volumes, a person want to buy, or a financial institution or the mutual funds want to buy 1 lakh share of a company. So there may not be a seller of 1 lakh share. There may not be a single seller of 1 lakh shares. So there are different sellers. Somebody want to sell 5,000 shares. Somebody want to sell 10,000 shares at the same price of the same company. So there will be different trades. Means you, a mutual fund manager, want to buy 1 lakh shares of a company, right? So there may not be a seller of 1 lakh shares, single seller of 1 lakh shares. So there may be multiple shares, but so it will lead to multiple trades. So this is about the multiple trades. So for order matching, the best buy order is the one with the highest price and the best sell order is the one with the lowest price. This is important, student. That best buy order is the price at which you are ready to buy at the highest price. Computer take it this way, that the best order price for a best buy order for the computer is that the person who is ready to buy at the highest price. When I use the word highest price, means amongst the buyer, whosoever is quoting the highest price, that is the best buy order. And for best sell order, amongst the seller, the person who is ready to sell that company's share at the lowest price is the best sell order. So when this best buy order and the best sell order matches, then the transaction is being executed. So this is because the computer views all buy order available from the point of view of the seller, right? Because seller want to sell, so you want to buy, somebody want to buy, somebody want to sell. So the computer views the buy order from the seller's point of view and all sell orders from the point of view of the buyers in the market. So of all buys order available in the market at any point of time, a seller would obviously like to sell at the highest possible buy price that is offered. You as a seller would always like that you should get the best price. Best price means the highest price. So highest, when I use the word highest price, means among the buyers, the buyer who is ready to pay the highest price for a seller, he is the best, right? So hence the best buy order is the order with the highest price and vice versa. For seller, it is the reverse. Now I am talking of what are the different types of order that you can place on your computer. So buy order, they are placed when the security price is expected to rise in price. When you say you want to buy, an investor want to buy, he will place or she will place the buy order. Why the investor is buying a share? Investor is buying with the hope that the share price will go up, so they will make the profit. Means the person want to make investment for making capital gain, for making profits. So buy order is placed when the investors expect that the share price will go up further and thereby making the profit. So this is basically the buy order when somebody want to buy. Sell order, somebody feels that the price will fall or that person needs money or whatever the reasons may be. Whatever the security that person is holding, that security is that person want to dispose it of, that is called sell order. Dispose it means sell in the market. So they are placed when you want to dispose of your security you own. Whatever the security you own, that you, but in the derivative market, even by not owning the share, you can deal in this. So derivative market means that when option, future and all this takes place. So that is a separate issue of discussion. I am not taking you into that. I am at this presently talking about the cash market, where the actual physically when I use it, electronically purchase and sale takes place. So want to dispose of the security, that is called sell order. So usually at an estimated price or when the decline in the price is expected. Means sell order is placed when the seller expect that the price will fall, he will place a sell order. Or if the person needs money, the person will, whatever the reasons may be, the person place a sell order. Price limit order. Price limit order means you prescribe a price to your broker that I want to buy this up to this price. Suppose I want to buy X company shares at 2000 rupees per share. At presently it is quoting as 2050 rupees. So I will place an order where I am placing the order at 2000 rupees, that if the price comes to 2000 rupees, then only my order should be executed. So in the stock exchanges, in the computerized system, there is always a facility that you put a limit that at this price you are ready to buy or at this price you are ready to sell also. Suppose the prevailing price is 2050. You want that you are ready to sell at 2100 rupees. So you will put a price limit order of, you will put a order that at 2100 rupees your shares should be sold. So it is an order for the purchase or sale of securities at a fixed price is specified by the client. Like I am saying, at the prevailing price is 2050 rupees. When I use the word prevailing, and you should be very clear that every minute on the stock exchanges, the share prices keeps on fluctuating. So the time at which you are placing the order, the share price is 2050 rupees, but you want to buy at 2000 rupees, right? So you will put a price limit order. And for a seller, if you want to sell at 2100 rupees, right, he will place the order at 2100 rupees. This is called price limit order. So it is not guaranteed that the order will be executed, because if the price will come to 2000 rupees, then only your order will be executed, right? So if you want to sell, if the price will come to 2100 rupees, that if the price increase takes place on that day, right, then only your order will be executed. So it is called price limit order. Price limit means when you are placing the order at a particular price, right? So this is just in order how the computer shows when you open the window, when you in the stock exchange through NSE and BSE. So window for a buy order is shown here. Here the buy price is at 3, means the name of the company is there. There is on the right hand side of the top, right? Whether you want to buy or sell. For a buy order, you will have to show the buy button, right? For sell, you have to push the sell button. So at a particular price, particular quantity, you want to sell or you want to buy, right? So if it's a buy order, what is the quantity you want to buy, at what price you want to buy. So this is basically, this is right. Same is the position of the sell order. Stop loss order. Friends, in the stock market, especially those people who trades on a day-to-day basis, or they are the positional trader, the term stop loss order is very important, because they want to limit their losses, right? And especially those people who follow technical charts. In the stock market, when we analyze the shares, that what will be the direction of the share, whether the price will increase, whether the price will decrease, right? I mean, there are two type of analysis we'll do. We'll again have a separate discussion on it, a full-time discussion on it, fundamental analysis and technical analysis. At this point of time, I'm already referring to it. Those who follow the technical traders, the technical charts, especially for them, I don't mean that others don't follow stop loss order, but I'm saying those who, especially the intraday traders, means they trade on the same day. They buy the shares and sell the share and vice versa on the same day, right? Or because these people normally, they are the day traders and they purchase and sell in volumes. So they put the stop loss order. Stop loss order means at this point of time, I will say that if the price, suppose you have bought a share at rupees 100 and you put a stop loss that supposing the price fall to 95 rupees, you will sell the shares, because in this way you will restrict your losses to 5 rupees per share. If you have bought 100 shares, it means you will restrict your loss to 500 rupees only, because you feel that you cannot bear the loss more than 500 rupees. Or if you feel that if the share falls below 500 or 500 or below, then technically means on technical charts it will be shown as the price will fall further. Those who follow technical charts, those who follow technical analysis, they feel that they feel means through technical charts, if the price reaches a particular level, it is a signal that the price will fall further, right? So in this way, they expect that the price will fall further, so they want to restrict their losses. So we will say the moment the share price reaches 95 rupees, right, your sell order should automatically be takes place, right? So this is called stop loss order. You are buying at 100 rupees, you are putting at the time of purchase itself, you are putting a stop loss order that if the share reaches to 95 rupees, automatically it should be sold, and vice versa. If you are selling it, right, you say that if the share reaches at this price on the increase side, the automatically you suppose you are selling it, you want to sell at 105 rupees, right? You have bought it at 100 rupees. So the moment share reaches 105 rupees, your sell order should be transacted, right? So a stop loss order is an order placed with the broker to buy or sell a specified stock once the stock reaches a certain price. So, stop loss is designed to limit an investor's loss on a security position, means it will restrict basically I would say the purpose of the stop loss order is that you want to limit your losses, right. So, it is designed to limit an investor's loss on a security position, right, means security position means on a particular share. For example, setting a stop loss order for 10% below the price at which you bought the stock will limit your loss to the 10%. Take an example. Suppose your buying price is 500 rupees, quantity which you have bought is 100 rupees and your selling price is 550. Suppose means the moment the share price will reach 550, you will sell the share. And stop loss in this case, if you are talking of the stop loss, then the stop loss of 10% of 500 comes to 50 rupees. So, your stop loss will be 450 rupees. So, suppose the stock price falls to 450, when the share will reach that 450, the order will be sold and the loss amount will be that 500 minus 450 into 100, that is rupees 5,000. However, the stop loss had not been kept and the price falls to 400 rupees, then your loss will be 10,000 rupees. So, as you are noticing here, I am saying that you purchase a share at 500 rupees and you put a stop loss that the day or the time at which the share reaches 450, automatically it will be sold. You do not want to take more than 10% risk. Suppose the share reaches 400 rupees. Had you not put the stop loss order or at 450, your loss would have been 10,000. By putting this stop loss order, you have restricted losses to 5,000 rupees. So, this is the benefit of stop loss order. So, due to stop loss, the excess lot had been averted. Placing a stop loss in an intraday trading terminal, here the stop loss is set at 450 as I have already explained. This means if the price of the share reaches 450, the share will be sold directly. So, this is about the stop loss order. The other order can be the best price or market order. This is very popular, means especially for a common investor, for a smaller investor, you made up your mind to purchase a particular share. So, you will place the order at the best price. Best price means whatever the price that is available in the market. If you are a seller, but whatever the price the buyer is ready to buy, whatever the best price at which the buyer is ready to buy, at this price you will sell the share. If you have a buyer, whatever the best price the seller is ready to sell, you will buy that share. So, a market order is an order executed at the current market price. The word is current, whatever the price that is prevailing at that price, you will buy or sell the share. So, it will be executed as the prevailing price on the exchanges. The other orders can be, we call it time based order, like day order. On the same day, if the same day the order is not being executed, the order will be cancelled. So, these orders are valid for the day in which they are being put into the system. If they are not executed till the close of the trading hours on the day, means the trading hours are 9:15 to 3:30 on the Monday to Friday. So, if on that day the order is not being executed, then the order will be automatically cancelled. So, at the end of the day, they are automatically cancelled. Good till day order. You will say, suppose you are placing an order on Monday, you will say at this price of this quantity of this company, my order will be remain there up to Friday, say, means within these 5 days your order will remain. Good till day order. Till day means on that, up till that day, right. So, a trader can place an order specifying the number of days up to which it can remain open. So, if the price did not reach at the ordered level, at the end of the period, the order is automatically cancelled. Supposing you want to buy a share at rupees 140, the prevailing price is 160. So, you will say that the order of purchase of this share or at rupees 140 will remain up till 5 days. So, Monday you are placing the order. If during these 5 days on any of the day share price touched 140, your order will be executed. If during these 5 days your share price does not reach to 140, right, then the order will be not executed. So after 5 days, your order will be cancelled. 5 day or 2 day, 3 day, whatever the till day order you have placed. Immediate or cancel order. Immediate means you place the order. If that order is being executed at that point of time, at that price which you want to buy, then order will be executed. Otherwise, it will be automatically cancelled. You are not placing the order up till the whole day, up to that day even. At that point of time when you are placing the order, right? So if that price is available, the order will be executed. If that price is not available, the order will not be executed. So a trader releases this type of order into the market for immediate execution. The word immediate execution is important. So if the price is not matched, the order is cancelled and fresh order is placed. There can be certain volume conditions also. Undisclosed value order. See, especially these mutual funds, foreign financial institutions which buys in bulk, they buy very huge quantity, sometime 10 lakh share, 20 lakh share, 30 lakh share, 50 lakh shares of a company. Because as I discussed in my previous lecture and even at this point of time, I told you sometime that every information there is there on your computer. At that particular price, how many buyers are there, at what price they are ready to buy, right? How many sellers are there, at what price they are interested in selling, what is the volume of the purchase and sale and so on and so forth. So sometime if you place a buy order of a very large quantity, say 20 lakh shares of the same company, so what the seller will do, right? Seller will increase the price. They say, oh, there is a huge demand of the share. They will automatically increase the share price. So the buyer does not want to disclose the value and the volume at which the buyer want to buy. So what they do, that they want that the amount and the value of the order should not be disclosed, right? So as the sellers keeps on giving at a particular price, you keep on buying. So this type of order enables an investor to release the part of the order value to the market without disclosing the full value. Because 10 lakh shares multiplied by the price, it will be coming to a huge amount, right? So you don't want to disclose it. So this is the purpose. Same is the case with the sell order, that you want to sell in a very huge quantity, right? So the buyer may not be available at the huge quantity, so you will not want to disclose it, right? So slowly and gradually you keep on selling. So minimum fill order. A trader can specify the minimum number of orders that should be filled by fixing upper and lower limit. All or none order. A trading member can stipulate conditions that the full order should be matched. Means there should not be partial fulfillment of the order. Orders released are processed immediately to check matching. I want to buy 1 lakh share. So especially these large institutional investors, mutual funds, foreign institutions, they buy. If they say, okay, if the 1 lakh shares are available, then they will go for it. Otherwise, they will not go for it. They will not go to purchase or sell the share. So immediate match, right? So either it should be executed in full quantity or it should not be executed at all, right? So unmatched orders are stopped in different books, are stored in different books in the sequence of best price and time priority. So friends, in this lecture, I am stopping here, and what I have discussed with you is basically the procedure of the trading in the stock market. What is the procedure involved? So basically, up till this time, we have talked about 4 different steps which are involved in the placing the order or in transacting the business in the stock exchange. I'll continue with this in my next lecture. Thank you very much.